All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, episode 15. And we are getting into the Pillarman section of this story.
We are.
And holy crap, can I just say, I don't know if we mentioned it in the previous episode, but the music, when those guys came out of their slumber,
that was like
freaking epic.
That was pretty awesome.
It was amazing. And oh my god.
Style.
It's got style. It's the idea that the show is all about the rule of cool in so many ways.
In every way.
In almost every way, yeah. But the idea that it extends to the music quite consistently does help a lot. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we haven't seen that before. Like,
but
all the nods at like music and like the first ending, for crying out loud.
The names of most of the characters. But with this story kicking off in such a fast pace, and we're getting into that whole ancient evil thing, but we're specifically going in Rome. Right. Do you feel like this is going to be like a global chase kind of adventure, or do you feel like it's going to be a, hey, we stopped the one in Mexico, now we go to Rome and stop the ones there, then we go to China and stop the ones there, and then we go here.
And then will it end with there being like 24 Pillarmen all at one place that they have to stop or something? Like,
I feel like now that we've introduced a group of them with some kind of subculture within them, this Lord Cars is maybe like one of the like strongest ones.
Sure.
And he's going to go and like reunite his brethren. Kind of a Khan from Star Trek.
Okay,
thing,
I can see that. And one of the other things that they've done by introducing the pecking order and all that, is that they could have something like they did with the two undead knights in the Phantom Blood or whatever.
Right, but do it better.
Because they've already been pre-established and stuff, and they've already given them a little bit of personality, even if the whole shadow attack thing is a little bit quirky. But I feel like they can't do this again of saying like the way the bad guys are scarier is because there's more of them.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's that. I think it's that these guys are more human than any of the vampires are, and it's the idea that they're just better. And it kind of mirrors the whole kind of idea that this is going on right around the time of World War II, and the fascist Nazi ideology of the Ubermensch and all that is going on. And it's getting, a little bit, kind of a parallel going on there.
Right.
Showing that these superhumans are being awakened to potentially dominate the human race again.
And it's the Nazis specifically that are searching for them.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's pretty on the nose in all the right ways. So,
right.
All right, so without further ado, let's get into this episode and see what happens. Oh my gosh! Nani?
Bubble launcher.
Oh. He's a nuisance, but at least his hammer works. Yes.
That's right.
So incredible. What? Whoa! Nani? Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Invisible ranged attack.
Jeez. Speedwagon's eyes.
Oh.
Holy crap. I like this Cars guy. Whoa.
Oh.
Yep, that's true.
Wow.
Cough, cough. Oh my god, I love you,
Thank
Joseph.
you, Joseph.
Ow.
Yeah,
JoJo, no!
like it's like,
What? With the JJ. So it's a bolus. Oh my god. I think he's trying to distract them.
Maybe.
He's being silly intentionally to distract them. They're too similar to you.
Exactly.
He just keeps getting more and more. They're just like laughing at him like, this is hilarious.
Nice. Yeah.
What? Whoa. Whoa. They're all over him.
Nice.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa.
And then I wamu you.
Oh! That's how long his wrist will... Yeah,
Oh.
he'll bleed out in a
Okay.
minute. Jeez, he doesn't even care. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Do you really think it'll work though? You done goofed.
He's kind of smiling.
Okay.
What the heck?
Okay.
This music though, holy crap!
It is
This is so
good.
hype. Jeez. That was ridiculous.
That was awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
This is comical. Yes, got no shame. But he can sense that. Oh, this is my specialty. Yeah.
Wait. Is that a rail car?
Why?
Are we gonna go on some crazy like roller coaster chase?
Maybe.
We might.
Even so, JoJo will remain the worthy hero of his tale?
Yep, yep. Nope, I'm bringing you with me. Of course, he could just jump off and get back there in like blink of an eye, probably.
Right, yeah. Chivalrous bastard. Huh. We'll just have a talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Of course. Oh, good yell, Speedwagon.
That was.
Wipe off my face.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna get this going.
He's gonna run after him.
You have bricks for brain. Don't tell me. Oh.
That is a great point. He doesn't care.
Oh. That clever trick. Yes. Oh, little bit of yes, using his pride.
Because I am the shonen protagonist, after all.
It's like, no, you don't need to see that. Just kill me.
Yeah.
He's a proper salesman. Now he's buttering him up and everything.
Yeah.
This is when you spec like super high charisma into a barbarian, you know?
I've never actually trained.
Yep.
何しろ5センチもその額をえぐったのは歴史上ただのカスみてえなこの俺なんだからな。でも、もっともこの俺が強くならない。
So kill me before I get too powerful. Yeah.
Ah, that smile. Oh. Oh, his buddies are back. AC/DC. Oh my gosh, his name is AC/DC.
Yeah.
Wow. What's this dynamite here? Dinamite must be Italian.
Show it actually did that much, huh?
Oh my. Oh. Oh, here we go.
Alright.
It is! It's love.
Around your aorta.
Jeez!
このリングの外核は33日後に溶け始める。リングの中には毒薬が入っている。手術で取り出すことはできない。無理に取り出そうとすれば殻はあっという間に破れ、毒は流れ出す。毒が体内に回らんうちに
Have me remove it for you, right?
33日以内に俺と戦って勝ち、俺のこのピアスの中にあるゲノム
Oh!
Alright.
Cool. So we'll basically have to hit him again in the face.
Till death do us part.
Oh my gosh.
このローマのコロッセオで待っているぞ、ジョジョ。俺との戦いはないだろうが、このエシディシからもプレゼントだ。貴
Whoa. Jeez.
Okay.
God, do you want to know this? Yeah, he's above this.
Right.
Cool. Jeez.
Okay.
Holy smokes. That's some... What? Do I look like I'm big ass? Oh my god, every line that comes from his mouth. Yep. Yep, good show. I'm sorry, he's already committed to AC/DC.
Exactly,
and WAMU. Ah, wow. Joseph Joestar, you freaking bastard. You crazy fool. Like, I love you. You are amazing. The aspect of having
fantastic.
Right, the aspect of having your main character have the rule of cool just in spades at every single ounce of like whatever they do is good. But it can be overdone. But with JoJo's,
true.
With JoJo's, the themes of the show fit so perfectly to have this as the point of your main character. Just like, rule of cool.
They went into like straight up Looney Tunes like comedy for a second there
about the whole like minecart and the dynamite. And
well, that too, but also the like crawling away.
Yes,
and then
he turns. He's like. Hey, but you know what's funny? That tells us a limitation that they have. They cannot sense the life force of an individual.
That's
but
true.
I feel like Hamon users would be able to.
And they don't have very good memories.
They don't have very good memories, but I think the aspect of them being a little bit easier to handle right now is because they just woke up. I think the idea of this. I think the idea of the red plot stone of Aja basically is basically their way of attaining their true power again.
Exactly. This is only a semi-perfect form.
Right. And, as a true,
seeker of
arrogant,
perfection.
As an arrogant seeker of perfections that these beings are, they derive no meaning from lesser mortals, and as such do not think in terms of the big picture, when it's like, wait, he actually could kill me. No, of course not. I am perfect. I cannot be beaten by such a small and a weakling.
One thing that I thought that I think is kind of interesting here is that they're seeking the redstone of plot relevance, right?
Right.
For the mask to be completed.
Yes.
But last time I checked...
But didn't they make the masks?
Well, I believe so. Yeah, they made the masks.
Right.
But maybe this one's just like,
Maybe this mask made them.
Or maybe they just didn't finish this mask yet, before they were sealed away. But here's the thing I'm wondering.
Yeah, what's that?
It doesn't make sense for all three of them to be able to use the mask.
Unless
they just, use it and then take it off.
Yep.
So it really seems more like just the one guy, the Lord
Cars, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like also his strength is above theirs in some way.
Oh, absolutely.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be with him. It's the idea of kind of you serve the greater strength in this regard. But I don't think they serve him just because he's stronger. I think there is some kind of loyalty involved there. And there's also a relationship, a kinship that they share. Mm-hmm. So what that means in particular is that there won't necessarily be them turning on each other. I loved the way he was like, "Hey, Cars, you want in on this?" It sounded like how you talk to your bros.
Exactly.
Just
like
casually.
when a bet is going on and like the other person's going to lose.
This is a sure thing. Hey buddy, do you want in on this too? Yeah. This guy's an idiot. It's like, no, I am immortal.
Yeah.
I do not need my life to have meaning by fighting some mere mortal. Right, pissant, basically, as true shonen, villains would say.
Right. That way, JoJo can defeat the two weaker ones before he has to fight the bigger, stronger one.
True, but I also don't think it's going to be simple for him to beat them.
No, of course
I feel
not.
like him training with Hamon itself also isn't enough necessarily. They made a point of having it be a thing where these guys are not only proud, they have some element of honor.
That's true.
In a way that they wouldn't lower themselves to... It's arrogant, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they also don't necessarily just kill for the sake of killing.
Right.
Now, it's you don't stand in my way, why would I lower myself to go kill you?
Right.
It's that...
Accidents do happen.
Exactly,
but,
where they bumped into poor Marcus or what have you.
Now, so with the month of training,
yes.
Caesar will also be training, so it'll be a 2-on-2 fight probably in the Coliseum. Or 2 1-on-1 fights or something?
Or, in a way, what they could do is have it be a tag team bit.
Sure.
Maybe. Yeah. Also, what they could do is they could devise a strategy for JoJo to show up and to have the fight go down on a 1-on-1 basis.
But they could do that too. Can do that too.
But now, Caesar Zeppeli will be fighting a different fight, basically, to try and save him, whereas try and find some trick in order to get those from them once they enter the Coliseum or something like that. Like, he'll try and sneak it off or something.
All right, yeah, sure, that's a good point.
Because they can't sense them.
That's true.
So maybe he could just leap out and quickly grab it.
Yeah, although they're wicked fast. But yeah.
I feel like that's another problem that Hamon doesn't cover.
Right.
Is the idea of Hamon increasing their speed.
But couldn't they self-infuse themselves with Hamon?
I think they do that all the time.
All the time, just regularly?
I think that's just a passive thing.
Sure, maybe that's why they're all,
durable, super
and inverted triangle, that it just naturally works out their muscles all the time.
This is one of the things where I was when we originally discussed Hamon was the idea that there is potentially some ways in which it is quantifiable. It's not just a way to pull powers out of your hat and anybody you want to, even though it kind of is. Is the idea that it's conducted through the blood and the breath. Those are the two life forces of human beings. Is the idea that if you don't have one of those, you won't exist. You will die. But also you have a constant exchange, a flow, a connection of those going throughout your body to where a Hamon master like Baron Zeppeli back in the day was probably constantly conducting Hamon throughout his entire body at all times with every breath.
Sure. And
the blood is constantly pumping it in this goo 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 goo.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that.
But
and maybe that's why Hamon is so good, is that every single foe that they fight will breathe and have blood running through their veins. So, even the vampires, when they would freeze,
what if they fought a zombie?
Well, they did fight zombies, actually.
That's right.
That's what they created and stuff. But the thing is, the zombies were just really weak.
That's right.
And they were weak to
because
light.
Hamon also serves as turn undead. So
yes, it's also that, but also it's not just blood and breath, it's also the light.
Right.
And light is the natural enemy of all of these creatures as well.
Right.
So it's not only that most of them have blood and breath, almost all of them are weak in some facet to a certain amount of light. Yeah. Now, obviously, the Pillar Men are way stronger, so even a bunch of UV light being beamed at them.
Well, and I think
they might need a lot of natural sunlight to turn them back into stone.
I would almost say that maybe at this point it doesn't mean anything to them. They
really
just evolved past it. Well, because
I don't think so.
That makes
it's
sense.
Their kryptonite, basically.
Yes.
It's the only way they can be beaten.
Right, except they just established that the UV light was on them, and they just.
But it wasn't from the sun.
It wasn't from the sun. That's true.
It was not sun radiation.
I don't think they're going to keep that whole sunlight being their weakness thing, because otherwise it's just okay, I'll fight you, and I'll just fight you in the daytime.
But half of the time that the world
it is nighttime
existing, it is nighttime, so they could have a reign of terror for 1,000 years in just the nighttime if no one could actually
12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. That's terrifying, Jacob. The idea that you have humanity at the complete and utter mercy of these creatures for 50% of the day.
I'm not saying that it's not terrifying and that they can't be terrifying with their weakness. I think that since that weakness is something that they're
probably trying to overcome it.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what the Redstone does.
That's probably what the Redstone's going to do, in addition to a bunch of other things. Because JoJo constantly keeps us on our toes with nothing staying the same, they always keep things moving, keep things changing.
Yeah.
I don't think the sunlight weakness is going to be as big of a deal as it was for Santiviento, or like it was for Dio.
Sure, but like that's still a question of, will it be somewhat of a problem? Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
I think also
we're not out of the woods yet.
I think also one of the main points that they try to make in this show is that while they can pull out any kind of power whenever they want, the idea of having some internally consistent rules within Hamon.
Right.
If you can't breathe, you can't use Hamon. They've never broken that rule.
Right.
Like, Hamon conducts better through liquid because of the blood being one of its other primary
and
conductors.
Hamon is kind of, seems to be electric and...
Some kind of electric energy of sorts, right. Also, it, is very naturally beneficial against undead things. So, all things that are connected to the mask have some element of the undead into them. So that's why it melted the skin of that.
That could also just be basic Hamon. I think at some point, like maybe when they're on the plane, Joseph used it and kind of like melted people.
I don't know if he did.
Yeah, maybe that just is undead.
I think actually what he did with the person with the pilot was he tasered him and it fried it, and some blood came out of everywhere, and it was just like, oh, he's dead. But there was no melting that happened.
Sure. Okay.
So I think that there's a few visual cues and a few internally consistent rules that they're trying to have keep the structure of things to make some sense. And the light aspect, I feel like, is going to be progressively less and less relevant.
Right.
Whereas it instantly killed the zombies, it sort of instantly killed the vampires. But with Santiviento, even, he was in the sunlight for a decent amount of time before he fully turned into stone. It was like 3 to 5 seconds.
Right, and even then it didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So
it stasised him, essentially.
Right. So my big question here is, how long are they actually going to spend on the 1 month of training?
I think they could spend 2 episodes.
Yeah, but that's the max I could see.
But I would say that we shouldn't put expectations that limit what JoJo can do.
That's true, because JoJo will surprise us.
JoJo will surprise us.
If nothing else.
I feel like JoJo's in particular, I give it a little bit of a pass on expectations of the way things should go, because I am too caught up in the ridiculousness of the adventure itself.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's an expectations of the way things should go, but of the way things will go. I don't see JoJo's as being the kind of show that would basically want to spend more than 2 full episodes on a training arc, considering that,
especially because it's just Hamon. We already know kind of what Hamon is, but here's a crazy thought, Jacob.
If
they introduce some new thing, that's where it could actually be a little bit bigger.
Right. Even then, I don't think it'd go above 2 full episodes.
They could also show what the Pillar Men are doing parallel, concurrently.
That's true.
And I think that would make sense. Is they would shift perspective to get us to understand more about what their motivation is, who they are. Maybe a little bit they'll talk amongst themselves. Because think about it this way: Santiviento, we didn't really care about him as much because he didn't have anyone to interact with.
Right.
These 3 interact with each other and provide context for certain things. The idea that Cars is their leader.
Yeah.
But he's also not the only Lord. AC/DC.
Right. It's
Which you gotta say, that name is hilarious. It took me a while to figure out. I was like, SCDC, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
AC/DC.
Uh-huh.
That's hilarious.
But
they're both lords, but the other one
hierarchy.
But the other one is like a slave to them. But he's still really strong.
I think it's just that there's the pecking order, and it's that he considers them as lords just because they're above him. It's not that he isn't a lord in and of himself.
I don't think Lord Wamu was ever said at all. They just said Wamu, 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 but they said Lord for AC/DC and for Cars.
Yeah, okay.
So there was no title associated with it.
One thing to bring back up, though.
Yes.
So with where we're at right now, we have this whole training arc thing that's going to be happening, and you know, the whole ultimatum meet in the Coliseum, which is going to be great, by the way.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah. Once I heard they're going to be doing something in Rome, I'm like, at some point they have to
go to the Coliseum.
They have to go to the Coliseum.
Right.
But 2 episodes ago, we weren't really even in Rome. I believe
Mexico.
Joseph was being okay, I'm going to go to Rome. But before that, they weren't in Rome. Caesar wasn't, like, in the show. The Pillarmen hadn't been, like, even discovered, much less woken up. Like, they had been...
Well, no, San Viento.
San
in
Viento,
Rome.
But in Rome, you know, it's like you knew that they were there, but that was it.
Yeah.
Now they're awake. They've already done fights. They killed people.
They're on their way on their quest.
They're
their
on
motivations.
their quest. And now Joseph has a couple plot ties.
Yes.
Specifically around his internal organs to make sure that they...
You're just marveling at how much content has happened.
They do in 2 episodes. And that's the main reasons why I don't think they're going to... Because, like, they have been doing such a crazy pacing so far.
I think that they could slow it down.
They could.
They could.
And yeah, they could.
Mm-hmm. I also think we need a little bit more buddy character interaction between Zeppeli and
that's
JoJo.
how they could do it. Okay, we could get not a filler episode, but basically an episode where, like, as they're training, they also bond in their downtime, goof off, all that stuff. That way, it's not just purely training for that amount of time. They could keep things fresh with the comedy. That way, if they want it to really feel like a whole month or 33 days or whatever have passed, they can do that without the episodes feeling like a slog.
Also, here's the crazy bit. If I'm basically saying if, like, ironically, I'm pretty sure he is.
Wink, yeah.
But if Dio is connected to Caesar Zeppeli, don't you think that Dio would have, basically by his influence potentially into this character, Caesar, have given himself or his descendant in this regard some kind of new power, like some kind of hybrid Hamon vampire power or something like that, and maybe this is where we'll get another hint of Dio's involvement potentially, because he'll be like,
possibly,
I have a different way that I use Hamon. It's like, oh, well, tell me about this. Yeah. It's like, I conduct the energy from the blood of the people around me. It's like, oh, that seems very reasonable. Teach me this new ability. I would love to do that. Did you see how I manipulated the girl so much? It's all in the matter of, it's like, wow, I don't know how to do this. Like, it's not that I don't know how, I can't do it. It seems there's something physically different about me and you. I wonder what it is.
Yeah.
If there's anything like that, I'm going to be watching you, Caesar. I'm watching you. So that's my bit. I'm really excited for the future of this section of the story, because Joseph is a fantastically hilarious, good main character.
It's just a treat to see him on screen, whatever he's doing.
The thing about it is, you could look at it and go, it's really cheesy. It's kind of the idea that you don't feel any sense of tension for him, but you do because of the fact that Jonathan died. I want to tell you, one of the advantages of having Jonathan's story before you had Joseph's story, what it does is it provides a counter kind of opposite to Joseph, so Joseph feels fresh and unique. And in other places,
and it would have been a lot more of a downer if we had to go to Jonathan after someone like Joseph.
True, but also because Jonathan's character is basically the grandfather of Joseph. You get to see bits of Jonathan bleed through this rule of cool kind of goofy exterior, where he ends up being the hero, at the sacrifice of his own body. But we do have the tension of whether or not he could actually die because Jonathan died. That is so huge. Because
killing off main characters is a ballsy move.
It's a ballsy move, but what it does is it sets a little bit of an uncertainty of precedent for future main characters, because you go, wait, if they killed off Jonathan, they could kill off Joseph, and it would suck. Like, imagine like how much we're going to love Joseph, and if they actually do end up killing him at some point, it's going to be like a knife to the heart.
And with the pattern they've set up, they probably are.
Right, but it's the question of when. Right, and we don't know that, which is good, so it creates some tension. And since it's so over the top, there's not really any tell, except when they do little things like this where it's like 33 days. They're like, okay, at least he's safe for 33 days. But we don't know if that's going to be when he dies. We know that now they've brought in this Caesar character. Like, Caesar could be the next passing on of the legacy, so to speak. Maybe he'll give his essence to Caesar when he passes. And it could be a thing where it's now come full circle, you know?
No.
I don't think so either.
Well, okay, possibly, but they need to somehow keep the, like, okay, because the one thing we would know is that since this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if Joseph does actually die, there needs to be some way to continue the Joestar family.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. I think we're not there yet because, one, we found out, according to Caesar, what girl would go after Joseph. But who knows?
That actually gets me excited because that means they might end up, if they did do some sort of like side episode while they're training, maybe they would use that as an opportunity
to introduce
an awesome female character.
That would be cool.
Which would be very cool.
Who would be like an equal with Joseph in terms of
Exactly.
his ridiculous, over the top like spunk. You know?
Absolutely,
that would be awesome.
Because I love what they did with the transformation from Erina to Grandma Erina.
To Grandma Erina. It's like
that.
Go, so just beat him up, but mind the other customers.
Yeah,
that's character development, right?
Well, it's character development, but it's also just so much personality. One of the biggest,
absolutely.
One of the biggest reasons I wouldn't want them to introduce a female character is if they just end up being sort of like a cardboard cutout. Yeah. But Erina means that they know what they're doing.
They might, yeah. All right, so I think that's good for now. Is there anything you wanted to shout out other than the awesome music?
The awesome music.
It actually got a little bit crazy at one point because
just like a wall of sound.
No, it got into some like weird dubstep territory, which was still kind of cool.
It did,
but it reminds you that there's a dissonance between the show's original material being from this era and the music not really relating to that era.
That's fine. I mean,
when their names are AC/DC and stuff like that. So
watch if he actually
What?
Well, no. They already did their introduction stuff. I was gonna say, what if they had like Back in Black playing for like an AC/DC like introduction or like when he fights or something like that?
I think that AC/DC songs are a little bit expensive to get
probably
an anime thing and have the whole deals like that. I hope they don't, because then we might have some copyright issues.
Oh, that's a good point.
Putting the the episodes up on YouTube,
because we would want that scene to be in there.
Yeah, we would.
Let's face it.
All right, so this was good discussion. If you guys want to see the next episode of our JoJo's reactions, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access. It also comes with access to the Discord. You can chat with us about story or what have you. And yeah, we'll see you all there. But until then, of course, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.